What's up everybody, welcome back to A Ball on a Goal. My name is Cornel and in this video I'm gonna talk transfers, captaincy, and at the end I'm gonna show you how my team looks ahead of the GameWeek 3 deadline. Just like I did last week, I'm gonna show you the top 10 most owned defenders, top 10 most owned midfielders, and top 6 most owned forwards in the game. I'm gonna take a look to see who is worth selling, and if it is, then who is the best replacement possible. So we're gonna take a look at defenders first, and let me give you a quick tour guide. You have the players on the left, prices, then the expected goals and expected assists per night is so far for this season, and then the next 5 fixtures. I highlighted with green the ones that they are at home, and with red the ones that are away. Blue means a strong hold, yellow means somewhere in between, should I stay or should I go, and red definitely a sell. So what have we learned so far from the first 2 weeks of the season? Well, not too many new things, the things that we already knew. Alexander-Arnold is probably the best defender in the game. His data is absolutely exceptional, 0.10 expected goals, 0.90 expected assist. That means basically 1 goal involvement per game. So if he's not in your team, your top priority should to bring him in as soon as possible. Next fixture, maybe not that great away at Manchester United, but definitely after that back-to-back home games against Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth, followed by away games at Wolves and Crystal Palace. He could have had basically 2 more assists so far. In the first game, Jota missed a header from 6 yards, the same thing in the second game, from the same position basically. So you're looking at least 6 more points from him if you have it in your teams. A little bit unlucky there. The second thing that we knew, and it's confirmed, Arsenal is going to be again probably the best defense in the league. Saliba and Gabriel, good options, not so much from an attacking point of view. Saliba basically is at 0 expected goals and 0 expected assists, the worst numbers from the players that they are right here on the list. Gabriel a little bit better, 0.06 expected goals, 0.02 expected assists. Definitely if you don't have at least 1 Arsenal defender in your team, should be again a top priority to bring at least 1, and from the 2 my favorite is still Gabriel, which who offers a little bit more attacking threat. Brighton at home in the next one, followed by 2 difficult games away at Tottenham and Manchester City, and then at home back-to-back games with Leicester and Southampton. Gabriel is the one that I favor over Saliba, just because of his attacking threat that is greater. Brighton at home in the next game, followed by 2 away games at Tottenham and Manchester City, and then back-to-back home games against newly promoted sides Leicester and Southampton. So yeah, definitely at least 1 Arsenal defender if you don't have already 1. Virgil van Dijk here, probably for those who try to get into the Liverpool defense without spending the extra million on Trent. My personal opinion is that it's worth it, what you get for the extra million. So far there's 0.01 expected goals and assists for Van Dijk. But if you have the extra million, definitely you should consider Trent over him. Anywhere else on the list, Guardiola, a little bit unlucky with Jeremy Doku playing as a left winger, diminishes his attacking threat. I saw the pass map from the game against Ipswich Town, and he was pretty much very wide and spending too much time in his own half or around the middle of the pitch. 0.01 expected goals, 0.03 expected assists for Guardiola so far, not impressive at all. Away game at West Ham United, then back-to-back home games against Brentford and Arsenal, followed by a trip to Newcastle and then at home against Fulham. I'll keep him if I have him. I wouldn't buy him now, to be honest. And if I was to go for somebody from Manchester City, I'll probably go for Rico Lewis, and I'll talk about him in a second when I will talk about the transfers, the possible replacements. Pedro Porro as well. Expected assists, second on this list with 0.22 after Trent Alexander-Arnold. Got already a goal in the first game and a clean sheet in the second one. Trip to Newcastle next, followed by Arsenal and Brentford at home. I see a lot of people buying Cristiano Romero, a little bit cheaper to get into that Tottenham defense. I'm not too sure about the clean sheets. Romero definitely poses a threat from the attacking point of view, but it's just a matter of time, as we all know, until he gets a red card and gets suspended. So I'll stick with Pedro Porro for now, if you want to pick somebody from Tottenham. And then Robinson, an assist last week. A little bit lucky, to be honest, because the pass he gave to Iwobi was somewhere at the middle of the park. So Iwobi had to do a lot of work until he scored the goal. 0.06 expected assists, pretty low. 0.00 expected goals. Definitely a good game, the next one at Ipswich Town, and then back-to-back home games against West Ham United and Newcastle. So definitely a hold for now. And Konsa, the last one, the run that Villa has from game week 3 onwards is really, really good. They'll play Leicester away, Everton and Wolves at home, Ipswich away, and then Manchester United at home. It's a good run of fixtures. I can see probably 2 or even 3 clean sheets in that run. The only ones highlighted with other color than blue are Andersen, which probably a lot of people got when he was still playing for Crystal Palace. I think moving to Fulham diminishes his appeal from a clean sheet perspective, but definitely he still can give you some attacking returns, and usually he scored like 2-3 goals a season. So if you have him, you can keep him. You can play the double Fulham defense away at Ipswich, and then again home games against West Ham United and Newcastle. And the one that is in red, and I think it was last week as well, is Dan Burn. Now, again, I said it last week, I don't want to be too harsh on him. It looks like a goal is coming. He did have some half chances in the league so far, and also in the game against Nottingham Forest. They play in the League Cup on Tuesday. So definitely it looks like a goal is going to come. And his expected goals actually are the highest from all the players that are here, 0.14. Tottenham at home, then Wolves and Fulham away, then Manchester City at home and Everton away. I'll sell him just because the run of fixtures doesn't look too good from a defensive point of view. They have 3 away in the next 5, and the ones that they are home are against Tottenham and Manchester City. So honestly, I don't see too many clean sheets in that run. And probably one of the best replacements for him is Konsa at the same price, which, like I said, the run of fixture is pretty good, and definitely I can see 2 or even 3 clean sheets for Aston Villa in the next 5. Looking at the defenders to replace the ones that, we just discussed about Burn and maybe Andersen as well after this game week. You don't want to be stuck with a double Fulham defense. If you want to get into the Liverpool defense and get the clean sheets, which they kept actually so far, 2 out of 2, Konate looks like a little bit of threat from an attacking point of view. Just a little bit, like you see 0.02 and 0.02 goals and assists. The games are okay. Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth back-to-back at home in 4 and 5. But I just think at that price you can get, Romero, who definitely offers more attacking threat. And at Liverpool, I'll say the only one that is worth the money so far is Trent, even though it's much more expensive. Romero on this list as well. He went up in price at 5.1. His data is actually pretty good. 0.31 expected goals and 0.17 expected assists. Like I said, I don't see too many cliches from Tottenham, and also on this list you don't see the expected red cards that probably are waiting just around the corner. But definitely from an attacking point of view, he's very dangerous at corner kicks and free kicks as well. And then the last one, Rico Lewis at 4.5. Now the thing is that I saw the pass map from the last game. He's definitely playing more advanced, and if you look at the average positions, he's definitely the most advanced from all the defenders. And if you look at that pass map, he is basically playing, definitely play like an inverted fullback, but actually way more advanced. And he's occupying that area in front of the penalty box, a little bit on the right side, more like a number 8/10 kind of thing. I don't want to say 10 because I'll upset De Bruyne, but definitely, at least for now, looks like a good pick. Now, of course, after the international break, things might change. You know, it's Guardiola and Manchester City. His data is really good, 0.27 expected goals, 0.04 expected assists. I'll definitely consider buying him. If you have him, definitely keep him, at least for this game week, and then reassess after the international break. Now let's move to the midfielders. Again, the top 10 most owned midfielders in the game. A lot of blue again here. Palmer, definitely a hold. Nice goal at the weekend, a little chip over the goalkeeper. He's a brilliant player, he's very good. Definitely a hold if you have him. If you don't have him, you should have a plan to bring him as soon as possible. 0.39 expected goals, 0.17 expected assists, a home fixture against Crystal Palace next, which probably makes him one of the best captaincy option in game week 3, followed by Bournemouth and West Ham away, and then Brighton and Nottingham Forest at home. Definitely an excellent run for Chelsea. They don't play any of the top 4 sides from last season in the next 5, and they have 3 games at home as well. Salah, definitely a hold, 0.65 expected goals, 0.23 expected assists. Return in both games so far, looking good. Saka, same thing. Return in both games, a little bit unlucky not to get the second assist over the weekend at Villa Park. His expected goals actually are the worst from the players that you have on the screen. 0.25 expected assists, which makes him the second among these players. The next game looks good. It's at home against Brighton. I expect, honestly, a clean sheet and maybe a return from Saka. The next 2 away at Tottenham and Manchester City. Now, they proved last season that they can go away to Etihad and keep a clean sheet, playing a little bit more defensively. And probably they'll do the same thing at Tottenham as well, just like they did at Villa Park, you know. And then amazing couple of games at home in 6 and 7 against Leicester and Southampton. If you don't have him, definitely for these 2 fixtures, you should definitely bring him in your team. Eze, and I'm gonna put Eze and Fernandes in the same sentence here, because first of all, if you started the game with both of them, you should not buy a lottery ticket pretty soon, because you're definitely a very unfortunate person. Eze scored a goal in the first game, disallowed. Then a little bit unlucky in the second one, hit the crossbar with a shot from outside the box. Again had a goal disallowed in the Carabao Cup. Finally got the assist for Mateta, and then scored a wonderful goal at the end from a brilliant performance from Eze in the game against Norwich. If I have him, I'll definitely keep him. I know it's frustrating, have a player who basically was so unlucky not to return so far. 0.43 expected goals, 0.11 expected assists. A trip to Chelsea next, which, by the way, defensively they don't look too good. Then back-to-back home games against Leicester and Manchester United. Away trip to Everton at home with Liverpool in 7. Eze is a player that can return basically in every game. So if you have him, definitely a hold. And Fernandes as well. Could have a couple of goals in the first game. Really big chances missed. Then he could have had an assist in the second one if it wasn't for that ball that touched Zirkzee on the goal line. He has the best data for expected assists on this list with 0.41, and the second one for expected goals with 0.67. Only Diogo Jota has it better. If you have him, again, I know it's frustrating, but for me it's definitely a hold. Home game against Liverpool, then away games to Southampton and Crystal Palace, a home against Tottenham, and then a trip to Villa Park. Again, like I said, Fernandes is a player that can return in any game, and you gotta get the points, you know, that you didn't get so far. So definitely a hold for me. Smith Rowe also a hold, at least for now. I watched the game against Leicester, and I know that he scored, and I'm really happy because I have it in my team. But other than that, I didn't see anything from him. Also, I think he gets substituted pretty early. I think it was like around 65-70 minutes in the game against Leicester. Definitely a hold for this game week against Ipswich Town away. And then maybe after that for 2 more games, West Ham United and Newcastle at home. But to be honest, I didn't see anything except for the goal that he scored. He didn't get too much involved in the game. He went up in price now, 5.6, which is a good thing. If you had him from the beginning, you'll be able probably to sell him with 0.1 more than it was when you got him at the beginning of the game. And the other one, Diogo Jota. The best numbers for expected goals, 0.93. That's basically almost a goal per game. Playing as a number 9 for Liverpool. I'm not concerned about the minutes so far. We'll see after the international break when the Champions League starts. Bear in mind, if you watch the game, he could have another 2 goals, missed big chances in both games. First with a header against Ipswich in the first game, and then another one from basically the same position against Brentford. The games look good in 4 and 5. Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth at home, and even the one at Manchester United away. You know, I don't see it as a difficult fixture from the attacking point of view. I think the both teams will score actually in that game. And then Harry Winks, well, he's here just to enable us to get money somewhere else. So his data and his fixtures really don't matter that much. The only one with yellow is Gordon, and that is just because of the Newcastle fixtures. More games away than at home, and usually they are exceptional at St. James's Park, not so much on the road. And to be honest, they don't look quite at it. The first game, I get it, they won by 1-0, playing with 10 men against 11 against Southampton. Then the second game, for longer period of times, they look inferior to Bournemouth. Again, in the League Cup, again, I thought Nottingham Forest played a little bit better than them, even though in the end they won at penalties. So yeah, something is not clicking as far as I can see from here, from far away, but definitely somewhere in the yellow area. If you have him, I still probably hold him for this game at home against Tottenham, but after that, definitely it's worth considering for selling. And Garnacho with red, definitely a sell for me. He already dropped in price, didn't start any of the games for Manchester United so far. Now, don't pay attention to the data because it's inflated by the fact that he only played probably around 40-45 minutes so far, so that's why his expected goals per 90 are 2.32, which looks amazing if you play 90 minutes, but doesn't look that good if you play only 30 or 40. So yeah, definitely a sell for me, Garnacho. Not sure of his place in the Manchester United team. Midfielders that we can bring in. For me, 3 stand out this game week. Mitoma, even though they are playing Arsenal away, you probably save yourself a transfer in the next game week when they have Ipswich at home in 4 and then Nottingham Forest again at home in 5. His data is really good, 0.31 expected assists and 0.49 expected goals. He already went up in price, 6.6. Madueke, I had to put him here. I'm pretty sure he'll start the next game. And I'm a big believer in momentum and confidence in football. So he might get something in return. 0.58 expected goals and 0.11 expected assists. At home against Crystal Palace, then Bournemouth and West Ham away. Actually, Chelsea's fixtures, they look pretty good. And from an attacking point of view, I think they're going to be just fine. So they will score a lot of goals. The only problem is if he's going to start or not. The transfer window is still open. There's talks that Victor Osimhen might come. Now, I know Victor Osimhen, it's a forward. It's not going to affect Madueke's position directly, but I won't be surprised if he's going to be moved out and somebody else will take his place over there. I mean, Maresca's got so many options, and some of them can play in different positions. They even can put Palmer over there, or even Joao Felix, even though I think for Palmer and Joao Felix the best position is central, so he's going to have a problem over there as well just to figure that one out. But definitely, if you started with him, you're extremely fortunate. Will I buy him now? Probably not. But you never know. You never know. He can still return for another week. And then Rodgers. I think Rodgers is more like a enabler, like a fifth midfielder that actually you can rely on. Villa fixtures, like I said, they are really good. Leicester away, Everton and Wolves at home. His data is not that great. He's good actually on the eye. I'm pretty sure he'll improve. And like I said, you can play him actually in these games. But then you have to sacrifice one of your forwards probably. So yeah, those are the three that I'm looking at. I'll definitely buy Mitoma, if not this week, then the next one. Madueke, probably, like I said, I wouldn't buy him now, but if I have him, I'll definitely play him and maybe even captain him. And Rodgers, if you want to save some money and have a strong fifth midfielder, then I think he is the man. And like I said, you can play him definitely in these upcoming fixtures. The last thing we're going to look at are the forwards. Haaland, I don't have him. Congratulations to everybody who had him and triple captain him especially. 1.04 expected goals, exceptional. I don't think the fixtures matter that much for Manchester City. Watkins, 0.62 expected goals, didn't score yet, missed a big chance at the weekend. Coming off early so far, I think he's not quite at it. He returned late from the break after the Euros. But yeah, I think with that run of fixtures that Villa have from game week 3 onwards, if you don't have him, definitely consider to bring him in. He looks like a guy who's going to score pretty soon, let me put it that way. Joao Pedro, definitely hold for now just because of the fixtures in 4 and 5. The data is not that great. He's playing more like a number 10, but he's on penalties, so like I said, if you have him, I think it's a keep for now. Havertz, a keep, playing number 9 for Arsenal. I think they'll score a lot of goals. Brighton, Leicester and Southampton at home in the next 5, and trips to Tottenham and Manchester City. Now these two games, I think Arsenal will play a little more defensively. I think they'll do that this season when they'll go away at bigger clubs. But definitely in 6 and 7, he is actually, I think, even a captaincy option. The one with Red Solanke, I got him in my team. I was a little bit unlucky. I was aiming for these two opening fixtures against Leicester and Everton. Didn't get anything in the first game. He missed a couple of chances, small chances. Then he got injured, didn't play against Everton. I kept him, hoping that he'll return before the international break. Apparently he won't. So it's definitely a sell for me. Even though his expected assists, as you can see, are actually the best from this list, 0.15. So we look pretty soon at the replacement. Last one on this list, Alexander Isak. He is with yellow. He is in that gray area. Should I stay or should I go? Like I said, I'm a little bit disappointed in Newcastle. They were so hyped before the season, and for me personally, they didn't look good in any of the games they played so far. Flat at Bournemouth, I'll say for a long period of time inferior in that game. Also at Nottingham Forest, even though they won on penalties, they didn't look great. Isak spent a lot of time on the wings, playing more like a creative forward, trying to get the ball in the box. So I don't like the look of it. Now, again, St. Jesus Park against Tottenham, he might be a good option. And then in the next 4, they have 3 away. So for me, definitely somebody who probably I'll be looking to sell in the upcoming weeks. I personally have him in my team, and I already made a transfer. I already made up my mind. I'll talk about that when I show you my team. The forwards that we should target, there's actually 3. Welbeck, again, difficult fixture this one, but the next 2, they look really, really good. I think definitely you should get Brighton forward for Game Week 4 and Game Week 5. The data is really good, 0.70 expected goals, 0.03 expected assists, which is actually the best from these 3 players. But the one that I think went under the radar, and I think it's a great option for a long term, and a great option also for captaincy in Game Week 3, it's Visa. He already went up in price. His data is actually okay, 0.57 expected goals. Home fixture against Southampton, like I said, I think he is a good captaincy option if you want to really go differential. If you want to win big, you got to be ready to lose big, you know. Then the only problem is that these 2 games in 4 and 5 away at City and Tottenham, but after that the run is really good. I think stretches out to Game Week 12 or 13 or something like that. So it's definitely one that you can bring and keep him for a long period of time in your team, and probably if you planning to wildcard, for example, in like Game Week 6, right after the Tottenham game that they play away, is definitely one that you should look at. And the thing with Visa being a little bit cheaper than the other ones will enable you to get the likes of Palmer or Saka in your team later, or even in your wildcard if you're using in Game Week 6. So like I said, I think he went a little bit under the radar. I think he's a great option and a great captaincy option in Game Week 3 in particular. Given the fact that there's no such as standout captaincy options this game week. And the last one with yellow, it's Muniz. Would I buy him now? Probably not. If I have him, I'll definitely keep him. 0.39 expected goals. He missed a couple of half chances, you know, in both games. Looked pretty lively, to be honest. It just didn't score. I think this one might be the best fixtures that I have. Then still 2 home games against West Ham and Newcastle. So yeah, if you have him, hold him at least for the next game week. I wouldn't buy him right now if I didn't have him. I was mentioning many times the captaincy options for this game week, and like I said, I don't think there is standout option. Just because Haaland is playing away, even though the record, if I'm not mistaken, at West Ham is pretty good, but that one was David Moyes. This is Lopetegui, so it's a little bit different. 8 shots, 5 on target in 2 games, not bad at all. Yeah, I wouldn't say no if you pick Haaland as a captain. I think Palmer might be the best one. He's playing at home against Crystal Palace. 7 shots, 2 on target so far. Watkins definitely is an option as well. The only problem is the minutes. He's getting the chances, he's getting into the positions, his data is really good. I'm expecting him to start scoring pretty soon, maybe even in this game. I put Visa over here as well. Like I said, I think it's a great option, this home fixture against Southampton, and I think it's a great option for the long term. Saka, I mean, if you think that Arsenal can score 2 or 3 against Brighton, why not? I won't be surprised if it happens. Salah actually has good games at Old Trafford. He's got 7 shots, 5 on target so far, which is pretty good. I wouldn't exclude Fernandes. Like I said, I can see goals in these fixtures. Maybe a 2-2, something like that. His data is good. You know, he's just been basically unlucky so far. 7 shots, 3 on target so far for Fernandes. I'll put Muniz as well. This trip to Ipswich Town looks pretty good on paper for Fulham, even though, to be honest, like I said, I watched the game against Leicester and they didn't look quite, you know, very energetic and anything like that. But you never know. Smith Rowe, this is, you know, if you really feel extremely lucky. But like I said, with the exception of the goal, I didn't see anything from him to suggest me that he will, you know, score a couple of goals in a game. And then Isak, just because they are playing at home and they are a different animal at St. James's Park. Just 1 shot on target though for Isak so far. And like I said, in the Bournemouth game and also in the Nottingham Forest game in the League Cup, he looked for me way too wide. And like I said, in the end, I'm gonna show you my team. I was planning not to make any transfers before the international break. I was forced into making one, so I had to take out Solanke, and it was a coin toss between Welbeck, João Pedro, and Visa, to be honest. I was going back and forth between them, and I finally decided to go with Danny Welbeck, just for the fixtures in 4 and 5. And then I decided to make another one, and just had it with Isak basically, and getting Watkins instead for this nice run of fixtures that Villa has, starting with game week 3. Leicester and Everton look like the team that are going to be the whipping boys, at least now at the beginning of the season. So yeah, I know it's a risk, especially with the minutes. Maybe even after the international break, when the Champions League starts, he might be a risk as well to be substituted early. It all depends on the fixtures that Villa will have between the first 2 international breaks. I didn't see exactly. I know what teams they are going to play, but I don't know exactly the order. So we're gonna find out. So yeah, Danny Welbeck and Oli Watkins in for Dominic Solanke and Alexander Isak. I'm gonna play Areola in goal. Obviously, don't have a choice because the other one is Fabianski, who actually had a pretty good game in the League Cup. I saw the highlights of West Ham against Bournemouth. A back 4 with Robinson, Gabriel, Alexander-Arnold, and Konsa. I was lucky with Konsa actually, because I can play him and play a back 4 this game weekend and keep the Brighton players on the bench. Smith Rowe, Saka, Salah, and Diogo Jota, and Havertz and Watkins up top. And captaincy is currently on Salah, but I'm definitely thinking of moving to Watkins. Other than that, I don't see anybody else who can wear it and give me some hope. Maybe Konsa, but I don't really want to go for a defender. Alexander-Arnold is definitely a good pick, but like I said, I don't see a clean sheet in that game. Gabriel, if you think that he can score and keep a clean sheet, is definitely a good option. I mean, I said actually last week that he will be a good option at Villa Park. I was really confident they'll keep a clean sheet. They were lucky to keep it, but that's the way it is. So he would have been a good captaincy option. With 6 points, he would have made 12. So yeah, this is the team, and probably the captain is gonna be Watkins and the vice captain Salah. So that's it for this video. I wish everybody only green arrows, and until next time, bye bye.